Welcome to Prime Cut, Default Prime's weekly video game news roundup. I'm your host, who is currently under the weather, Steven Snake Lindsay, and on this broadcast we'll talk about the rulings on the legal battle between Viacom and Harmonix, the possibility of God of War 4 being a reality, and Anonymous vowing to strike Sony Again. A ruling has finally been reached in which Viacom was ordered to pay $383 million more to Harmonix. This all comes from a discrepancy in the original contract when Viacom bought Harmonix in 2006. There was a clause in this that said that Viacom would pay to Harmonix 3.5 times gross profit from their products in 2008. Viacom is currently planning to contest the ruling by filing a suit in Delaware on the grounds that some arguments and evidence were improperly excluded. We'll bring you up to date on this if any more info comes out of it. Certain die-hard gamers out there like a challenge. This can be to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, have a certain weapon run, a low-level run, or in some games that allow it, the final death. If you die, there's no last save to go back to. You gotta do the entire game all over from the beginning. Some of those die-hard fans have been pushing for a final death in PvP for Diablo 3. And this is what Xandris of Blizzard Company Rep had to say about it. I honestly can't see how an arena could work with the final death activated. Each character would have an average life expectancy of one match, likely given the ease with which a character might die if the opposing team focuses on it. I understand the adrenaline, but it would be counterproductive for the fun. That said, we have not yet taken a final decision. Our intention is to put some PvP mode that allows the final death, be it by duel, by 1 versus 1 arena, or something we have not thought of. So there you go. It's quite possible that there will be at least some type of 1 versus 1 final death in the PvP matches, unless they change their minds. While this hasn't been explicitly and outright confirmed, in a screenshot released recently, M. Bison and Ling Xiao are present in the life bar. Currently, the roster for Street Fighter Cross Tekken is set at 30 fighters and features 15 fighters from both teams, or 33 fighters if you count the PlayStation exclusive characters. There's still some time for more characters to be added. Now, who can make a grand appearance? A favorite yet to be revealed, or perhaps an obscure character that has a devoted fan following? We can only just wait and see. Those that are excited and anticipating the newest installment in the Twisted Metal series just might be a little more excited to hear that Twisted Metal Black, the first version of the Twisted Metal series on the PS2, will be included for free in the upcoming 2012 release, Twisted Metal. Well, of course there's some stipulations, just like most occasions of this happening in the past. To get a free copy of the game, you have to pick up a copy of the game on the first printings of the game. Preferably new, as you'll have a 100% chance of getting it, as compared to a used copy being closer to about 2%. Give or take 2%. David Jaffe also mentioned at the end of his Christmas message video that there are a few more surprises to come. An interesting little detail has popped up on the resume of composer Timothy Williams. That is, that he's currently working on upcoming game, God of War 4. While the trilogy ended with 3, John Haidt, studio director, has always maintained that while God of War 3 will conclude the trilogy, it won't spell the end of the franchise. This isn't the first time that we've heard about this mentioned either, as PSM Magazine has gone to mention and believes that God of War 4 will be coming out in mid-2012. With this series being a staple on Sony's platform, it's hard to imagine that there's not going to be a sequel in one way or another. SOPA, or the Stop Online Piracy Act, has gotten the attention of many people on the grounds that it is more or less likely going to shut down several websites such as Facebook, YouTube, Flickr, and many more due to individuals violating intellectual property rights, or at least one person claiming that one person on a site has violated those terms and having the entire site blacklisted. This has also led many people to claim that this is beginning the part of removal of online freedom and policing the internet. Several groups and companies that were once backing SOPA have slowly changed their side to being against it. Anonymous has made a vow to Sony that they will strike them and many others that are backing SOPA. While Sony has recently stated that they aren't backing SOPA anymore, though they are still associated with the ESA, which is with SOPA, and of course their music branch is still siding with SOPA, there isn't any sign that this won't be happening by Anonymous. In fact, Anonymous has stated that Sony will end up being shut down if this act isn't thrown away. And this, of course, brings us to the end of this week's broadcast. For the latest in gaming news, visit and bookmark our website, defaultprime.com. Also, subscribe to our YouTube for weekly news broadcasts and our reviews and previews. Till next time, gamers.